wanna do? I can't tell you. Wish I could too. Say it's your game. Do what you wanna do now. Say, I can't tell you.
I'm back, baby.
Hello. Excuse me. Been a while. Still got some throat crap going on. I don't know what the hell's going on. Been sick the last couple of weeks. Sick dogs, everything. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rockstar Roadie podcast. This is a brief, maybe, knowing my mouth. But I wanted to hop on here and address some things that's been brought to my attention via messages, emails, some rude comments, just the usual stuff. I'm not going to call you out by name, but you'll know who it is when I say what I say. First off, I don't have to talk about politics or religion because it's my show and I have no guests, so I don't have to do disclaimers. And yep, I'm not a doctor. My advice is just that of life experience and going through what I've been through and coming out the other side of it. Not always perfect. Lot of work to go, so to speak. I have a big screen here, so it'll look like I'm looking away, but I'm reading things. I have to make notes because ADHD doesn't work well with me. But I wanted to address some things here. So I have a list of questions that was not questions, but questions and comments, and some pretty rude, and some very nice. But my podcast is about real world. We don't do anything scripted. I don't have a list of questions I ask the guests. Everything comes out of my friggin' pea brain. Oh, yeah, good beard shaved yesterday. But it's called raw, real, and unfiltered because that's what we are. That's who we need to be in this day and age. We need to understand you can't always coddle people. Unfortunately, I grew up on the unfortunately, I grew up on the road. So, it's brutal. It's brutal, and you learn life the hard way. 40 years of touring will harden you to going through shit in your head. Oops, I'm supposed to beep that. Whatever. But you just can't sit here and coddle people. It's unfortunate nowadays. I'm Gen X and friggin' proud of it, and stand by the whole. I was thrown out the door after breakfast and told not to come home until the streetlights came on, and damn it, that's true. But anyway, so let's get on to a few things. The first thing I want to address is I was on a dear friend's podcast, Laura Klopp Davidson, and she is an amazing individual. Been friends for a long time, since TC Electronic days. And I thought it went pretty well, but then I got one email. Got a bunch, all good stuff, but then I got one email. And I want to address this because you don't, obviously you watch my podcast, but you don't know me. So let's introduce you to me.
You can do it.
It's a question here is why in your podcast with Laura Klopp Davison? I think they meant why in her podcast with me. Do I sound so conceited?
Hera, shitty walk, take order, pre.
Yeah. I'm not conceited. There is a humongous difference between conceited and confident. I have taken 40 years to hone my craft. I own it. I love it. I live it. Couple hundred days a year on the road, since now slowing down, but I've earned, if you think I'm conceited, I'm confident. I know what I'm capable of. I'm not conceited. They even said I was entitled or a know-it-all. All right, I might be a know-it-all, but I own that. if you don't know the difference between conceited and confident, you need to pick up a book or you need to work alongside someone who's confident. Conceited people are arrogant. I'm not arrogant. When I tell someone to close their mouths and open their ears, I'm saying it because you're going to learn something. So I apologize if you took me being conceited on her podcast, but learn the difference. All right. It's like pretty much that simple. What do I got? Anyway, so there's that. Now you know the difference between conceited and confident. Not the same. Okay. Another question is, why do I reference not being a doctor on my podcast? Because I'm not. I'm a roadie. I don't have no medical degrees. And I reference that so people can't sue me, but also to understand I'm not a doctor, but I see a therapist. And I'm okay with that. Okay. So there's your answer to that. That shouldn't have been a hard one. This one I get a lot and I've never addressed it. I'm going to address it. You might not like the answer, but you're not going to know the real answer because I don't put it out there. So it says, what is your political stance? None of your friggin' business. Here's the deal. I have Republican friends. I have Democratic friends. I have MAGA Republican friends. I have stupid Democratic friends. Y'all's beef, you deal with it. I don't have room in my psyche or my life to be part of your drama. There was a point in time where I did, unfortunately, get sucked in. I don't do it anymore. I don't care. I have my beliefs. I believe that my daughters and my children should grow up in a world that they're safe, plain and simple. I believe veterans should have amazing health care because they've not only earned it, but deserve it. You know, and that's it. I'm going to stop there because I can deep dive and we're going to fight. And at the end of the day, I just press the button and I win. So anyway, all right. So this question is going to be probably a longy one to answer. But the question was, why do you put yourself out there and doesn't it make you feel weak? I'll answer the second part first. I don't feel weak. I feel empowered. If this podcast, for all I go through with this equipment and paying for the advertising and, paying for equipment and, everything that there is a whole lot more involved than someone getting on a camera and a microphone to make a podcast happen. The reality is I don't feel weak. I feel empowered. And I feel empowered by my goal and my drive to help at the very least one person. One. And I feel I've accomplished that. And we'll get down here in a minute to the questions. Excuse me, my throat is still all messed up. But I do this because I have been through some dark shit to the point where, and I'll say it, I've said it before, but I'll be clear about it. I am a suicide survivor. I am a recovering pillhead and alcoholic since 1994. There were people in my life that were there for me when I needed them. And unfortunately, the one person mostly isn't here anymore, and that's Mr. Robin Irvine. He was there for me when I needed it. And another gentleman who, when I was going through some medical stuff pretty bad, there was another man, Dave Scaffy, and I miss him. But he was helping me through my treatments while I was unaware that he was also going through the same thing, but never told me, never told anybody. And, he passed away after the Bon Jovi tour in 2022. And I still have the text that he sent on opening night of that tour to all of us. I still have saved that text. I'll never get rid of it. I'll never delete his number because he was there for me through some dark times. Excuse me, I have to take a drink. He was there for me through some dark times and never once let on that he was sick. And I miss that man to this day. He was like a distant parent to me. Just a sweet man. I had him out with me. I brought him out on Rob Thomas. I had him out, as monitor engineer for Rob a bunch of times, and we just had a blast. So going back to why do I put myself out there? Well, I just told you the biggest thing about me. Suicide survivor, sober since 94. Do I want to drink? Do I want to take pills? God, yes, I do. But do I know? Because I know what it'll lead to. I don't even get my doctor to give me narcotic medication. I find other medications that are non-narcotic, but I won't because I know that path it'll lead me down. I know what it'll do to me. So me putting myself out there to let other people know that it is okay. It is okay to talk about your issues. It is not, you are not a pariah. You are not bad. And I felt that way for a long time. I kept my mouth shut. And unfortunately, I became complacent with certain people and certain things to where I was more subservient than anything to just, keep my head down, do my job, blah, 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 blah. Well, no more. Okay. I know what I'm good at. I'm good at what I do. People hire me for that reason. And now I can pick and choose my gigs. Thank the gods that I can do that. But I put myself out there to help somebody, to let them know to not be ashamed, to not be afraid, and to not think that they are a bad person. And none of that makes me feel weak. If anything, it makes me feel amazing when I do these. When I have guests on, when I get off from doing a podcast, when I'm done with the podcast, I'm happy. It's like I feel like I just ran a marathon without all the being out of breath shit. But I just want to help people. And, like I've always said, and it's always a quote from Marvel, I have a lot of red in my ledger and I need to make it right. I wasn't exactly a good boy back in the late 80s and very early 90s, but, we all change, and my children are the biggest component of me changing and the right people in my life. So there's that.
Moments later.
So another thing I got here is I don't think, and this is what someone messaged me saying, and they did it anonymously. Show me some balls, all right? Have a healthy debate. But they sent me this thing. I said, I don't think it's cool that you dog younger roadies. I don't. Never have, never will. They just need to listen. They don't, someone with 1, 2, 3, 4 years in this industry doesn't know everything. That's why if you're with me on a show day, if you're on my side of the stage, man, let's just talk like normal human beings and, listen to what I say or see what I do because you're going to learn something. And here's the deal. I'm going to learn something from you. I've learned something from some young roadies, man. I'm like, damn, I've been doing that not wrong all these years, but I've been doing it. I could be doing it a lot easier. At the end of the day, everybody could teach everybody. It doesn't matter how old you are. You always have the ability to learn. I'm a big component of the saying, you can teach an old dog new tricks. Okay. I'm fine with that. But I don't dog younger roadies. I just want them to listen and soak up every ounce of knowledge because there's going to become a day where this podcast goes dark and I'm no longer on this planet. And then we're seeing a lot of our friends pass away. And it sucks. And it sucks in a bad way. To go through all that shit and then just be out there with someone older than you and just go, man, well, let's do some shit together. So there, I don't dog the younger ones. listen up. Another one I got, which was from an anonymous person. I don't think you should judge people. Hello, it's me. I judge everybody. Zero shits to give. I will judge you. If you are stupid, I will call you out. If you are cool as shit, I will freaking praise the crap out of you. But if you're a dumbass, I'm gonna call you out. So am I judging you? No, I'm just calling you out. Okay. Plain and simple. Um, yeah. So there's that. So if anybody knows me, you know that I just don't care. I mean, I'm not rude, I'm not mean. I just don't allow that to take over my brain. I don't let people or things live rent free in my brain anymore. And that's a huge part of therapy to kind of work through that and to understand. Oh God, I sound like shit. It's a big part of therapy to get your brain to understand that. It's not that easy. It took a while, you know. Excuse me. I got my Route 44 Cherry Coke. I love Cherry Coke. But yeah, so other questions I have been actually, you know, here's some good things. I got quite several emails over the past few weeks asking, you know, what's going on with the podcast. So I'm in the process of recording. I did get sick for a couple weeks, so I was down with the COVID and the flu at the same time. So yeah, not I can handle one at a time, and I can even work through one at a time. You put two of those together, whoo! Let me tell you, that sucked a big wiener. I don't know what I was going to say. I had a senior moment. But no, so yeah, the podcast. I'm in the process of recording a lot of great guests this year. I'm looking forward to some of the ones that are coming up here, and I can't wait to do them. Yeah, and again, some are roadies, some are not roadies, some are band members, some are famous band members. You know, so it's growing. And the other thing, so we just got the approval for a new house. So the podcast studio will be moving to a much larger space, which I'm excited about, and I'm going to be set up um, to be able to have a guest in the studio, which is going to be great. I've got a second camera, I've got a second microphone. So you know, when that time comes, there's a friend of mine that lives down here, Maxie, and we're going to do one like this recorded, and then once I'm all set up and everything's up and running to snuff, I'm gonna have Maxie come in and maybe we'll just do some co-hosting and have some freaking fun and get our friends on there. So yeah, that's what's going on with the podcast. So some of the other things I kind of filtered out a lot of the stupid someone trying to one up me. Good luck with that, dumbass. You can't one up me. You can only one up a person who gives a shit, and I don't. So but I got a few emails which made me feel really good. And, you know, maybe I've accomplished my goal and helped the one person. I don't know. But, you know, the whole thing is those emails were focused on specific things that I've said. One of them was what I just said here a minute ago, suicide survivor, you know, sober since 94. It's one of those things where, they said thank you. You know, what I had to say made a difference to them. And what my guest also said made a difference to them. And you know, you're opening a dialogue when you have these podcasts and these conversations to let people know it's okay. So listen, I'm never going to divulge your name, good or bad. If you send me something good, I'm not going to divulge your name unless you want me to. Bad, I'm not going to out you because that's your own insecurity coming at me. Because you don't have to come at me. You chose to take the moment and write an email, compose a thought to go click and send it to me. Maybe I'll read it. Maybe I won't read it, but I read them all. And the reality is, you took that time where I read it and it's in, out, done. We're done. So yeah. What else I got on here?
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Yeah, that's what I sound like right now with my throat all messed up. So, I appreciate those emails. What I'm trying to accomplish with this podcast is a very simple situation is that I want to help people. Okay. One of my goals, which unfortunately, due to rising costs and food prices, one of my goals is when I retire, which right now looks like it's going to be 27 or 28, is to open up a small cafe, maybe 40 seater, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Is that small? I have to look. But I want to open up a small cafe serving hometown Jersey food. In its kind of model a place that growing up, me and the boys, after we do a show at Lemore's or Billy O's or Studio One, we drive to this place in Little Ferry, Teterboro, Little Ferry, and it was called Harry's Corner. And they got a Facebook page, which is great, but they had the best food when you were shit hammered at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But I want to serve food like that, But the main goal of the cafe is going to be a pay it forward program for the homeless and for veterans. My wife is a veteran. My son in laws are veterans. My stepson is a veteran. God rest his soul. My father in law was a veteran. Unfortunately, the Navy wouldn't take me. We weren't in war. Go figure. I had flat feet. Anyway, shit took me. But I want to open that up. So basically, the program would work as you come in. The menu is going to be limited. It's not going to be like a Jersey diner menu. I'm not cooking for that many damn different dishes. But you'll come in, there'll be meals, there'll be a separate menu for meals for the homeless and for the veterans. You could buy whatever you want, but there'll be block meals, and then you could pay the whatever it's going to cost. And you could put, take it, it could be for a veteran or it could be for the homeless person. So if we get someone in who's homeless or can't fully pay their bill, we pull a slip that's got the meal on it and it's covered. It's already paid for. So what the hell? That's something I want to do. But right now, the prices with local produce and local meats and all, it's just so expensive. I have to be able to make some money to keep the lights on and, to keep the food cooking. So I can't do it right now. So eventually, that's hopefully while I'm still on this planet, it happens. But also I partnered with a company called Buy Me a Coffee. And what Buy Me a Coffee allows you to do, it allows you to donate to the show for things like new equipment, marketing, advertising. Obviously we're going into the age of AI, and that shit's expensive, man. Damn. But it helps keep the show running. So if you would like, you can always go to this link, buymeacoffee.com/Ross Already Podcast, and you could donate. And all that money, no matter what it is, $1, $100, $10,000, $50,000, whatever, it's all going to go to studio equipment to make this thing bigger and better. It's going to go to advertising. It's going to go to marketing. It's going to go to pretty much anything show related that has a cost, because I'm going to tell you, it gets expensive running a podcast. So, but anyway, if you feel so inclined, much appreciated and much love to you. And you'll even get shout outs too. We're going to do shout outs to people and thank you, because without people's support, shows, little ones like me, don't exist. So there you have that. So I'm going to leave that link up because it looks pretty cool. Couple other things real quick. So I got to read through these questions. No, I think that's it. A couple of these other questions, I don't want to make people feel like shit. Excuse me.
Who the fuck is this asshole?
Me. So anyway, please email your questions at any point in time. Hang on. There we go. I can do this because I now know what to do. So let's see. There we go. Email your questions here. Contact at rockstarroadiepodcast.com. I will answer anything you want. Anything you want. You know, and put on there that if you don't want it on air, say please don't put on air. And I will answer you back. You know, if you need a call, I'm starting to become in a much better place. There's been about a month or so that I haven't really wanted to use the phone because, well, I honestly hate the phone. Let's be real. I hate the damn phone. It gives me anxiety. If I'm advancing a tour, that's one thing. But I can't. The phone just drives me nuts. But if someone needs help, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call them. If not, we have plenty of people who can reach out. I'm starting to create a very tight network of people who, if you have issues, we will, one of us will reach out to you. And then, oh yeah, one other thing. So let's take this off here and let's go here. So if you go to our website, rockstarroadiepodcast.com, we have added a page on the towards the end. If you look at the tabs up top, we've added a page that has links and has information if you're struggling, if you need financial assistance, if you need medical assistance, if you need therapy, and more are going up constantly as when we get them and vet them and we make sure that we're getting to the right person because we're trying to eliminate the red tape. When we were going through the pandemic, I was scrambling to find help, not only financial, but, you know, mental. And there are some great organizations on the page that helped me. And now I want to give back. So, but there are resources on the website that will help you try to navigate some of the places and get you to the right people. So there you have that. So with that being said, hit me with questions any point in time. I'm always here. If you need something, boom, hit me there. Contact at rockstarroadiepodcast.com. I will read them. I read them all. So thank you, everybody. I hope you are well, and new episodes coming soon. I'll make an announcement here on the Facebook and the Instagram and the TikTok and all that, whatever, blah, 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 all that stuff. So we got all those pages. You can go to any of the socials and find us, and we'll talk soon. Thank you, everybody. Be good.
Bad.